All right, I had a couple questions on the specifics on the hafting glue. So before I go any further, I'll just tell you what I know so far. I made a video a long time ago about how to make uh, pine pitch glue, or what they call cutler's resin. And since then, I've discovered a few things, and I've worked with a lot more asphaltum. It's also called bitumen. Okay, so let me just go over those things. Uh, this is my setup here, what I use. I just started using this. Usually I make little batches that look like this, but I've been using this molcajete from Mexico. It's a volcanic rock carved in the shape of a bowl. It's used for grinding various things to add to salsa or to food or whatever. Okay, but this is a mixture of asphaltum and what they call gum base. Okay, now gum base is awesome stuff. All right, now it's 102 degrees today, so this is going to be kind of soft, and all of these things might be affected by the heat, but for the most part, you can get the idea. It's gum base is highly flexible. This particular batch I bought from an outfit that produces organic gum, or kits to make organic gum, and it contains chicle or chicle. Okay, this is what I used to mix with asphaltum in this batch, half and half, powdered asphaltum and gum base by weight. All right, now natural asphaltum can be found on many beaches throughout the world, but it's extremely common on the coasts of Texas, Mexico, and California. Okay, and this was sent to me from a friend that picked it up from a beach many years ago. And natural asphaltum is variable. Sometimes it's quite flexible, and sometimes it's quite hard and crumbly. So this batch from the ocean is crumbly. Even with the heat, it's still not flexible. All right, now it's fine to be used in the natural state. You can use it in this natural state as a glue for arrowheads. But as you can see, it's really hard and brittle. Okay, now when you heat it, it's not what you might expect. It tends to fizzle and bubble, and it's not flexible. I just heated that and burned it up and heated pretty high temperature, and it's still crumbly. It's not like what happens when you heat gum base. Okay, this is very sticky and what you would expect, all right, from asphaltum when you heat it, but it's not true. So what do you do with asphaltum? Well, you just mix it with gum base, and you get both qualities. You get both the hardness of the asphaltum and the flexibleness of the gum base mixed together. So I'm going to carve a little bit out of here. This is a lot more flexible. The combination of the two, you can still see the little bit of a brittleness to it, but it's not nearly as brittle as the asphaltum in the natural state. Now there is some asphaltum that is flexible. You can find it, but I've never been able to find a source of natural asphaltum that's gooey and flexible. Okay, so you have to add something to it to make it, bind together. So after working this for a couple seconds, it's a lot more cooperative as far as the glue. Anyway, of course you can use it as a very stiff glue that cracks easily. It'll still work for a glue, but like I said, it's brittle. It's very similar to pine rosin as far as being brittle. Actually, no, this is a lot more brittle than the asphaltum. But this is refined pine rosin. Refined pine rosin. This is also asphaltum, but this is what they use for roofing and repairing of cracks in streets. I took a batch of it from some that had spilled on the side of the road from a crew that was repairing a roof. Okay, this was just, I've got some more down here. It was a big blob on the road, and I picked it up, and this is flexible. Again, it's 102 degrees. So if you can find this roofing tar, it works quite well. Now it smells the same way as this when you heat it, but I have a feeling that this has a lot more natural, it has a lot more turpentines or something in it to keep it from snapping when I bend it. Now in the winter this acts differently. It will snap. Alright? So if you want to use straight roofing tar to mount arrowheads with, it'll work. Okay, but like I said, in the wintertime, it snaps cleanly like this. It just snaps in a very brittle way. Okay, but this is asphaltum. It might have some more additives in it because it is an industrial product. But this is the natural state that I encounter most often. It's just the brittle blobs of asphaltum, natural asphaltum. Okay. This one here, this is a mix of gum base, pine rosin, and red ochre. Okay, it's half and half by weight, I think, on the pine rosin and gum base. As you can see, it's very, very sticky. And that's the pine rosin. The pine rosin is extremely sticky. Okay. All right. I have used pine rosin and asphaltum together, but it's still kind of brittle. I like using the gum base. So that's the secret that I use for my glues now, is I mix gum base with just about everything to find the right mixture. Sometimes asphaltum will be highly brittle, sometimes it won't be. It'll be more flexible like this. But it also depends on the temperature of the atmosphere, how it works, how it bends, and what the properties are. Like during the winter, when I heated this in a pan. I was able to break it by hand when I took it out, and that's what these clean snaps are in the wintertime. And just right now, I couldn't get a clean snap. It's probably because of the temperature. Like I said, it's over 100 degrees. All right, so that's that. The other type of glue that is very common It's probably one of the most common types is just hide glue. And if you don't have the time or the inclination to make hide glue, you just buy Knox gelatin, unflavored, and it's pretty much the same thing. Okay. You mix it with water. Now, you can also use let's see, what else did I have here? Some beeswax. Now, beeswax, I've tried to use this straight without any additives or mixtures. It works okay, all right? But again, it depends on the weather. But you can use straight beeswax for hafting too, if you don't have anything else. All right, so for those of you who don't know where this gum base comes from, I order it from an outfit called Glee Gum. Okay, gum base by the pound. You should be able to find this webpage. If not, here's the address. If it'll focus. www.gleegum.com, product gum base by the pound, and those are dashes in between each one of these words. I just got this phone. It's a track phone, and the focus on this really stinks. Trying to save some money here. All right, anyway. www.gleegum.com, products gum base by the pound. All right, and here's the ingredients down here. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Gosh, that's really bad. All right, anyway, it's natural rubber, calcium carbonate, hydrogenated soybean oil, soybean lecithin, vegetable oil, beeswax, and carnauba wax. The natural rubber is latex. Okay. Now, when I bought my batch, they were actually using chicle instead of latex, but they've changed the formula as of 2016. All right, it says in here somewhere. Yeah, they changed the formula over to natural latex, which it still should act the same way. I am going to order some of this, and if it isn't any different, or if it is different, I'll tell you. If there's no difference, then I won't make a video on it because it's the same as before. All right. Okay, so let's see. I think I went over everything. So as far as hafting glues, asphaltum and pine rosin, those two are the most common, right? They're not water soluble. It's very important. Okay, they don't dissolve in water, they are affected by heat, so they're like a hot melt type. There are many other types of ingredients that are water soluble that you can use in a pinch if you need to for glue. One of the biggest ones is sugar. Right? Plant sugar, processed sugar. You can even boil down maple syrup. And that sort of thing, okay? But these are water soluble, so you may not want to use it for arrowheads, okay? And let's see, what else? I collected a batch of pecan sap several years ago, and I did a video on it. And I did melt it down, but I found it to be equivalent to melting down or to boiling down maple syrup. It became the same type of consistency, and it's very similar to sugar, okay? The the pecan sap. I might do another video on that sort of stuff later, but right now I don't have much time to go into that. These are the basics. Asphaltum is very popular. Pine rosin was very popular. Spruce gum was also used a lot. There is evidence in the archaeological record of those three. Pinyon, pine, spruce, gum, asphaltum, beeswax, and those kind of things are documented as arrowhead glue in North America. And maybe even, I think mesquite gum is also one, but it's in this category here. It's water soluble. It's in this category. It's not one of these up here. Okay. Another question was plant fiber. Okay. Let's see, 16 minutes. Okay. The plant fibers I have available, the natural plant fibers I have available, to me are agave. Okay, and this is one I just cut from my lawn or my yard. I have agave on my yard. And this is a small one. Actually, I've got two huge agave plants that I can harvest fiber from. And this, to me, is the strongest fiber you can get here in the Southwest. Natural fiber, other than sinew. All right. Let's see if I don't poke myself with this. Just grab some off the bottom of the leaf. Okay. Now, I can harvest this myself, but I get an allergic reaction to it, so I don't do it. I don't normally use agave fiber, or I normally don't process it myself. Okay, and it's, in my opinion, it's stronger than sinew. These strands, if you use them wet like this, they work quite well with hide glue, in combination with hide glue. Okay, so that was extremely easy to get a piece like this, and you can wrap an arrowhead with it. Okay, and it does taper. Toward the base of the leaf, it's thick, and as it gets toward the tip of the leaf, it gets thinner. So, and that makes it easy to glue down. You can see the difference in thickness. Okay, you can see how it tapers down, and this end is very easy to glue down when it's really thin like this. It tapers down to a thin. So agave fiber is the best natural material that we have around here in the Southwest. Okay, so natural fibers. Sinew is number one. It's the most versatile. It shrinks as it dries. It is stretchy. It will cover sharp edges. It won't be cut on sharp edges. Like when you're wrapping an arrowhead. If you pull tight on these hold downs with natural fiber, if you pull tight on these, a lot of times they'll be cut by the blade of the arrowhead. But sinew, it won't do that. Okay, so you can use sinew when you want to pull tight. Now for natural fibers, you can use, for other natural fibers like agave, which is also sisal. Okay? If you don't want to process it yourself, guess what? You can buy sisal twine at the store. Okay? Same thing. Sisal twine and agave, same thing. You'll just have to unravel the twine to use the individual fibers, but it's the same thing. Okay? And the other very common non-sinew fibers are cotton, milkweed, trying to look through the viewfinder, and various bast fibers. Okay, and the one I work with here is elm. I like elm, but you can also use mulberry and various others, etc. Okay, just by experimentation. But cotton, milkweed, agave, sinew seem to be the most common, unless I missed something. There might be another one in here that's very common. Okay, and these are also easily available, especially the sisal twine. Jute, I don't think jute is native to the Americas, so I didn't include that, but you can use this one too. Hemp, I think hemp is another good one. Okay. All right. So I think I went over everything that I wanted to in this video. I need to go inside and wash up because I'm already getting really itchy from this agave. All right. That's it.